Leftover women are feeling insecure as men still prefer younger women.
Why would you rather have a young, inexperienced, possibly naive and immature young woman who has not really accomplished anything? Maybe
Look at how she painted the young woman with all those negative descriptors.
hasn't found her own way. She hasn't made anything of herself just yet. Why would you want that over a woman who is older, wiser, more experienced, and more
And
independent?
now all the positive descriptors for this older woman. That's not biased at all, is it?
She's not going to take all your money. She doesn't need you, but she wants you.
A guy values a woman's sexual purity above all things because we can build off of that. Guys want a woman with low body count first and foremost. That's the ultimate flex. Not how much you can throw it down on him fucking doggy style, or how much you can throw that ass back, or your BBL, or your 1900 lip injections. None of that shit matters. Are you a or are you not a? And if you're not, oh, guess what? Gold tier status.
Modern women think guys date younger women because they're easy to manipulate. Older women, it is you who have created the issue you are now complaining about. You have become combative, overly argumentative and demanding, too stressed, and simply unpleasant to be with. No man wants to go near that.
There's sort of this line that, like, men should only go for women who are under 25, and if you're 25 and you don't have a partner, then you're like a gross old lady or something. And I think part of that comes from a fear that these men have that an older woman or a woman that's age appropriate will know that they're bullshit, and young women don't have the life experience to detect the bullshit.
Look at that reframe. Look at that cope. That is fucking magnificent. That is some top tier coping right here. And the shaming, you can't make it up. It's like it always resorts to, oh, you're a POS. We see through your bullshit. You just suck, basically. Oh, okay, you like younger women. Oh, well, it's because you suck. Okay, solid argument. Fair enough. We suck.
They need somebody who is not going to realize that they're absolute garbage at sex. They need to know somebody
You suck.
too young to realize that they overplay how important they are.
You suck, basically. This is what she's saying. You suck. Oh, you like younger women? Hey, you suck. And here's all the ways that you suck.
Smart they are and how cool they are. And the reason that they're able to do that with younger people is because they have no life experience to prove to the contrary. You
And the younger people suck as well. Nice.
get anything past a woman who's like been dating for 20 years by the time she's 35. She's just gonna be like, nah, dude, you're trash.
You suck.
About your age, really. It is about your attitude. You are now too scarred and miserable to the point of being non-cooperative, unsupportive, and cold in a relationship. Of course, if Chad and Tyrone are the only men ever visible to you, then do not wonder why he has options and prefers to go for younger, more accessible women.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they do nothing all day.
Do we need men?
No, like, they just sit there.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they're icky.
How did he find 3 tiny girls all dressed in just insane fashion? Tough world out there for men. It really is, both on this and the dating side of things. Somebody said, that's the same person 3 times. Thank you, that's what I think. Somebody else said, pay attention to me. You must look at me. I require attention, whether it's good or bad attention. I do not care. Just pay attention to me. Yeah, that's why they're...
Well, this reminds me, and this is something I want to talk about. And before I started recording today, I was kind of on X just scrolling around, and I came across this tweet, and it's trending. If you're on X, you probably saw it today. So let me kind of talk to you about this. So this tweet says, speak of the devil, I guess personality doesn't matter anymore to people these days. And this woman is getting wrecked. At first she wasn't. I think a lot of people were agreeing with her, but now she's getting wrecked, basically. But let me click some of these photos here. So this appears to be a younger woman on Discord talking with a guy. He essentially just wanted to see a picture of her. So he says, I was wondering, like, I know what your face looks like. I'm just kind of curious about the rest of you. Okay, so he knows what her face looks like. Probably just saw the neck above, right? And she says, rest of me. And he said, I've only seen your face. She says, I don't really take full body pics. Not gonna lie. And he goes, how am I supposed to know what you look like? She says, I don't know. And he says, not even a mirror selfie. And she says, nah, I don't take those. And then he, frowny face, and she says, what's wrong? She says, you look fine. And then he says, I'm glad you think that. It's just like, if you want things to progress with me in you, I feel like I should know, but I understand if you don't want to. Like I said, I'll respect you. So you think my body is a big factor of whether you want to be with me or not. Not a big factor. It is a factor. Well, that's a bit shallow, but I understand. I mean, I don't think it's shallow if someone has a preference. And then she says, every guy I meet is always, I want a girl who looks like this, and it's literally someone with a Kylie Jenner body. I feel all these guys are just brain rotted by prawn, and like personality doesn't matter anymore, I guess. LOL. He says, I don't even know what Kylie Jenner looks like. Personality is a big factor for me. I like your personality. My type isn't just twig, skinny women. She says, so you like my personality, but in order for us to keep speaking, you have to see what my body looks like? Huh, okay. And he said, not to keep speaking, I just would like to know. She says, this basically implies that what my body looks like factors the way you should feel about me and if things should progress. He says, I feel it would be odd to date or be in the talking stage with someone that I don't know what they look like. And as I have said, if you're not comfortable right now, you don't have to. I said, I'll respect how you feel. She says, well, I feel it would be pretty odd for me to be with someone with that kind of mindset in the first place. If my body is that important, then I'm sorry, there isn't much I can say about this anymore. I think it's better that things end now before they even get started. I've been with someone who is crazy about looks, okay? You've been with a man. We all care about looks. Talk to guys who cared a lot about physical appearance. Sorry, that isn't what I'm looking for. I want something genuine. Right? Maybe you should date women then, lady. So my whole thing is I wanted to talk about this because this is a woman, it seems like she's a pretty young woman. I don't know how old she is. But she thinks this is unreasonable, and she blames men's prawn brain. She puts the blame on prawn as to why men care about what a woman looks like and her body. And it kind of just goes to show that men having preferences, standards, things that they expect from women, it's like in this modern day society we have, these women want to paint that in such a negative light, and so much so that this woman screenshotted their entire conversation, posted it online in hopes to do what? To shame him, right? This is what she's trying to do here. And at first, like I said, it seemed like she was getting support, but now she's getting wrecked, thankfully. And what I also noticed is this guy is being very, very respectful and very nice. And it's almost like if he would have just put his foot down and been more assertive, I think she would have been more inclined to perhaps do it. But because he's coming off really like timid and like, oh, I still respect you, but I want to see this. This is why he's explaining himself. He's defending himself. And she kind of seems to be feeding off of that and is enjoying to kind of tell this man why that's not going to happen. And it seems like she is enjoying putting this man down. And so this was a trending thing, and I wanted to talk with you guys about it because why not? And I just thought that was really crazy that this guy is like, yeah, I've seen your face, but I'm curious, what does the rest of your body look like? Basically, are you obese or not? And she's like, sorry, I want something genuine. I've been with someone who was crazy about looks, talked to guys who cared a lot about physical appearance. Sorry, that's not what I'm looking for. And it's crazy. She tried to go online and shame this guy for that. And this just shows the state of, I guess, modern dating, the state of men and how they're being treated when they talk to women. It's like this guy wants to see what she looks like, I guess, below the neck, and that's a problem.
Just like that, and why they say things like that. It's all for shock value.
It's true about older men and options for women. I think it's the confidence and capabilities of an older guy that turns them on. However, the thing that shocks me is the lack of manners and basic respect for younger women. They are crass. Most of the time...
You guys want to be RP'd on something? Go into your Google search and type in, why am I attracted to? And you're going to see so many women coping with like why they're attracted to this. A couple of them were like, why am I attracted to older men? Why am I attracted to bad boys? Why am I attracted to married men? I mean, it's crazy. If you want to get red pilled, go do that.
You engage with one of those women, they can't handle getting checked for being rude and ungrateful. They are just not equipped to process a man setting boundaries and standards. Successful older men have their choices increased, while successful older women have their choices narrowed, and this small number of choices is what frustrates them the most.
Well, even women in China are learning this. All the leftover women there are realizing that like men don't prioritize your career and your master's degree. That's great. You know, they want educated women, but they would prefer a younger woman who's probably in college, not a woman who's like at the finish line.
For a guy to date you, what does he need to bring?
Stable job, good family,
Happiness.
kindness, intellectual. He needs to be like smart, not just like academic smart, but like, you know, needs to be outgoing.
How much does a good job pay?
We're about to be seniors in college, right?
So define
like,
good job.
You define it.
well, I would say right out of college, if my man is not making at least 90K, he's not gonna be my man.
At what age do you typically graduate college?
I'll graduate when I'm 22.
Okay, so 22, he needs to be pulling out 90K.
Oh yeah, I know so many
Following,
people.
if you're
So
doing
many
the right
people.
career path and you
Yeah.
want it, if you're going for what you want, maybe it's less than.
Disqualified. You dress like a 304 streetwalker. You're overweight. Probably have a promiscuous past. Show me your Instagram. Look at your friends. You guys are on a night out. You get drunk. You're a club hopping 304. Get wrecked.
Okay, but as long as you're achieving what you
85,
want to achieve.
80, no, not achieving. Motherfucker, you're saying achieving what you want to hear from me. I'm fucking like theater or something. No.
Just
85 to 90K, I feel like is a stable income right out of college, especially I guess in our field.
Women expected to party for a decade, then land a top-tier man in time to pop a few kids and live happily ever after. A few pull it off, but most end up alone, medicated, bitter, and somewhat impoverished.
So more physically attractive, I would say more emotionally available, more romantic, more energy, optimistic for the future, more time to live life and travel the world before starting a family, more fertile, less baggage and trauma. That's really big. The more relationships you've had, you get more baggage, you have more relationship trauma, you're jaded. More open to new ideas, more agreeable, typically easier to build a life with. Like we were talking about before, the more partners you've had, you've probably landed on a guy who's a top G. And once you've been with a really top guy, you're not going to be happy with Mr. Normal.
Of course, it's all men's fault. Of course. I've seen women's videos talking to men about dating, and the men say, "Why would I marry you?" And the women say that they're not talking about marriage, they're talking about dating. The men point out that men date someone they think has marriage potential, and the women are always like, no. A man may earn 100K a year, but it's okay because he's supposed to. But when a woman reaches 100K, she's strong and successful. Making money takes time. Only some women do not consider dating a poor man with goals, but would rather wait until he becomes rich. Then, they dare to approach you when you are successful, and act as if they are your best choice. https www.youtube.com shorts 5mihwrjq. And to tell you the truth,
What?
I don't think age is a main factor in this. These girls date older guys because of money. And because few people are born into money and it takes time to establish a fortune, so the guys are older by the time they can afford all these hot girls. I can assure you that in the town where I grew up, no sane 20-year-old would fall for a 40-something miner or railway man. Besides, these girls are gathering experience so that in a few years, they themselves can be bitter old jealous women. I don't understand women complaining about men dating younger. I know a few women dating younger men by a decade, and no one complains about that. It's them who have competition now. Same as we did when we were younger.
You're gonna get copyrighted
We,
for that.
men, peak at different ages. That is the reality. Of course, I will go for the younger ones now that I have options, and so will any man. When a woman understands that she will be happy in every or nearly every way, when she lets a man control her entire life and serves him entirely, she will finally get it. The problem with this is that all media says the exact opposite of that, and it's ruining the essence of what it means to be a woman ultimately. What I hate the most is that men are supposed to achieve success in life, but when women do it, they are independent, confident, and successful.
If you have a man that is like even just slightly above average, like how do you not spend almost all your time just like bragging about him? As far as I'm concerned, bragging about my husband is like my favorite extracurricular activity. It's like a full-time hobby because
So this is a woman right here who's hypergamy. Definitely is being satisfied. She is happy with the deal she has secured. She feels like she's with a man who is superior to her.
here's why. My younger self, I've seen some shit. when it comes to men. Like, I've been in the trenches, okay? So when I found my husband and I started dating him, like, I was marking all that territory. Like, that mine. And 7 years later...
They shame us for anything that breaks their reality of, I'm perfect. Women genuinely believe they deserve a Prince Charming. They lack empathy to understand that men desire different things. Many men want to be that first, physically, romantically, and with experiences such as traveling. The more experience a man has, the more he wants to give. The more experience a woman has, the more she expects, and the more she wants to experience those things with other men. Men want to provide and protect, but they dislike feeling obligated to do such things, and that too, without appreciation or respect. This is another example of how women as a group create so many of their problems on the dating scene. I'm sure these women in their 30s were the exact type of women who, when they were early 20s, dated older men. Also, the women now in their early 20s who find themselves single in their 30s are going to dislike how younger women are taking the older men. When a woman goes online and says, I don't need a man for this, that, and the other, that means she desperately needs a man for all those things, but is afraid for her life she'll never get him. It's so simple when they see men have choices. They want to change guys, or want someone who matches every expectation of them. And even when men try hard to do that and fail at the little point, they reject them. When men get in power and don't want them, they start feeling sad, and now they want them, even if they have a little of what they want. But as you know now, men won't go there, because now they have the options. The only thing I don't get is, men and women in their 30s and 40s will only date a perfect 10. Or if you're willing to date someone over 25, 28, don't be surprised when they have a kid or are married. The older women complaining about the lack of men in their 30s and 40s were the same 20-somethings in the past who were having fun with older men. They are attacking their past selves and bad decisions. It's a cycle that never ends and probably never will. When these older women were in their 20s, they would have jumped at the chance to date an older, stable, successful man, or an older man on his way to that level of status. It was only when they got older that they concluded that older men shouldn't be dated by younger women, because they are getting bitter, resentful, and left behind. Men get better, wiser, more stable, and more attractive as they age. Women go in the opposite direction. These particular women felt entitled in their 20s. So instead of getting with guys their own age and being good wives to them, nothing was ever good enough for them. I preferred to be with a woman my age because we would have grown up with the same stuff and could relate to each other more easily. Instead, I'll probably be with a girl much younger than me, because the girls my age went for the older guys. What is really crazy is that when these high-value women talk about why they deserve a perfect guy, they only talk about their good jobs, their financial independence, their looks, what they bring to the table, etc. And none of them say they can be a great mother, can be compassionate, loving, supportive, and will build a great future with their partner. They have no reason to be angry. They were the ones who ignored us when we were 18 to 30. I mean, they didn't think we would wait for them to reach 35 to 40, did they? It's so crazy how people think these days. Besides, most are not looking like they did at 20. At all. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of women out there who have an issue with men liking younger women. There's a lot of women out there also who understand it and don't really try to fight it and just accept it. But what we hear most of the time are women complaining about it. And that's fine. That's fine. They're going through some red pill moments themselves, having to realize, oh, okay, this is what men actually want. This is all the blue pill lies I've been told about men wanting career women and women with degrees. That's their number one priority. Well, they get their own red pill, don't they? About men actually being more interested in youth, beauty, fertility, sexual eagerness, right? I like that. That's a good thing to value in a woman. How eager is she in the bedroom, right? Anyways, before I keep going, I'm going to leave the video there. So if you enjoyed that, drop a like and a subscription. Bye.